This is a public service announcement from 5 to 5 Incorporated.
That's right, Throwback Rum from 2012. This PSA is to inform you that whatever is said here in the 525 Live podcast is the opinion of the guest, not the host or the show. We here at 525 Live want our guests to feel free in expressing themselves in order to give an entertaining podcast for you and a therapeutic experience for them. If you don't like what they said, take it up with them, not the show. You know who you are. Now, without further ado...
Yo, sit back, relax, catch a contact.
Bear witness to some biblical shit. But I hope you leave enough room for my fist because I'm going to ram it into your stomach and break your goddamn spine.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to the 525 podcast. This is Sean Nova, of course. If you don't know this, get the fuck out. I don't know. Do something with your life. But anyway, my guest here today is a 12-year veteran in CAW, which is a very long time. It's like he might as well be 60 years old, and I might as well be 65. But, yeah, the voice of FAM now, the king of kick-ass style, used to run the CAW Underground and voice of WCW, pretty much every single CAW show except for maybe two. Norman Rhodes, how you doing?
Hi, that was a great intro, by the way. I love that intro.
Don't
Yeah, I'm not known for that, am I?
Right, exactly. Fucking, I'm not Paul Heyman or whoever the fuck that can do a good mic work.
My client!
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Paul Heyman. Whatever the fuck, right?
Right.
So, yeah, 12 years. Is that, like, shoot or is that a work?
That is shoot. That is
okay.
absolute. This is not like including. This is including actually sim now, but I started back in like 04, 05, around that time, back on a little site called NoDQ.com with their with their CAW forums and all that stuff, and ended up, originally when I joined it, it was just to watch like NoDQ CAW, but watching that and then watching all of the other leagues around like CAWD and CUW all came later on, but there were so many other leagues that had fantasy characters like Superman versus Batman, all that stuff.
Oh yeah.
Watching that, I wanted to kind of get into doing commentary, which unfortunately for me, if you go to one of the channels for the league I ran for a while, the matches is actually there, so you can hear like little probably 15-year-old me trying to commentate a match, 16-year-old me trying to commentate
with
a match
with the voice cracking and everything, like oh look,
well just more high pitched than now, let's put it like that.
Okay. Oh man. So yeah, all right. So yeah, because I remember I don't know if I should classify myself as a decade or over long veteran, because of course I've been playing WWF, WWE games for a very long time.
Oh yeah.
I think the first game I made my call was in WrestleMania 2000. So yeah, I think before a lot of you guys were born. I feel old as shit.
Both of us.
But yeah, Nintendo 64 was the best. Don't fucking tell me different. So,
nah, Dreamcast. No, let me stop. I enjoyed. I had a friend who had a N64. He would bring it over, or I would actually go over his house and would play so many. I mean, No Mercy never. He didn't have No Mercy, which is unfortunate. Right. But he had like Mortal Kombat and all those other games. Same with like the Super NES and all this. I was a lucky child as someone with gaming. Cause
speaking of No Mercy, I wasn't really a big fan of No Mercy. A lot of people love it. But
yeah.
I love WrestleMania 2000 and WCW versus NWO Revenge. Those were my two.
Oh man, the last time I played that, I went over a friend's house to play that. I think I spent the whole night there, and I stayed until 2 a.m. playing that, which is crazy to think that like now I can barely stay up till like 3 a.m. without some type of help.
Oh man, damn us adults with responsibilities and shit.
Yeah, all that stuff.
Yeah, so like a lot of that stuff just... Alright, I'm just going to get down to it, right?
Yeah.
FAM. When did you start off? When did you start doing commentary with FAM?
Commentary with FAM? It's been, like a few months now. I think back in like February, March. So, okay, last year I started doing commentary within the community. And somewhat, like getting in the ring and all that stuff. But I started with the Gelitro versus Isamu match, which was Tino's guy against Brian Amir's guy.
Okay.
Like his Japanese guy that he made, his Shibata guy, pretty much.
Gotcha.
And it's funny because how that started was I wasn't originally going to commentate that match. It was going to be one of my friends, Shia, or Zero, whatever you want to call him. He has 1,000 names.
Oh my god, was Joe Blooded?
Yeah. So
I was just talking about talk about him with OTP.
Yeah.
I was like, where the fuck is he? I don't know where the fuck he's been.
you know, he
Because,
plays as Yukita now and all that stuff. But
Okay.
I think he was originally supposed to do the match, but he put my name in there with Tino to do the match, and Tino came to me, and I was like, yeah, and next thing you know, everything just blew up. So fast forwarding a year later, Cameron Bash,
Oh my god.
sends me a DM. Actually, first he followed me, then he sent me a DM. He was like, man, I still have the screenshots from because I sat there for maybe 3 minutes before I answered. But he was like, I've been hearing a lot about you. People talk very highly of you and all this other stuff. This is not exactly what he said, but kind of verbatim a bit.
Right.
And he's like, we will love you to commentate the Road 2 stuff, like Barry, but commentate the Road 2 stuff. And I said yeah, and started commentating the Road 2 stuff.
Okay.
And then the rest, as we know, is history.
So now, you are considered the voice of FAM, which I kind of take a little personally because Sean N used to be called the voice of FAM. Now he's just the voice of the COG community.
I just kind of put that in there because I was like, I mean, I'm next to Rom now, so I guess you can call me the voice.
Yes,
Yeah. I'm balding,
Jesus
baby.
Christopher.
So you can do a better Rom impression than I could. And I sat there for 7 hours with
him
them.
for 5 years. Yes.
You would think by now I should have the voice down.
Oh man, yeah. I think everybody should. Whoever listens to the show or watches the show, listen to his voice, should just have some sort of.
I'm just gonna make him sound like Yoda from now on.
Oh yes, right. Suplex, he did it.
That's
man
perfect.
Of 1,000 voices. If you heard Tiny Tony and all the other shit that I fucking.
In the dawn.
Yeah, my worst point was voicing Mexi for I think it was the Royal Rumble, I think, or Survivor Series, and it was just he's Mexican, he sounds Japanese from my voice. It was like, what the fuck? It was wrong, and he's still.
We can play off of it, right?
I apologize to this day. I'm sorry, man.
Yeah, we can play off of it.
What was that?
I said we can play off of it.
Yeah, right. Yeah. No, as long as it makes me look wrong, then great. I don't give a shit because I kind of deserve it. But yeah. So the whole thing with you did Road 2s, right? So what was the first pay-per-view you did? Was that the Royal Rumble or was that before?
Yeah, the Royal Rumble, which again, surprise, because I haven't been in FAM that long in the first place. So when I signed on, I'm thinking, I'm just going to do the Road 2, and then it's going to be the usual suspects for the Royal Rumble. Mm-hmm. Well, I don't know what happened. I don't know all the juicy details around that, but I know Rom told me, or not even told me, he asked, he just pretty much said, so did Cam tell you that you're going to be doing the Royal Rumble? And I'm like, huh? And I was like, you mean the Royal Rumble match I'm gonna do? He was like, no, the whole show. I was like, give me a moment. I stood silent for a second. I was on a call when this happened on Skype. Right. So I'm sitting there and they're asking me Norm, what's going on? And I'm like, I got a message from Ron. Are you in trouble? I don't think so.
So you weren't in the call with Rom, you were in the call with other people.
Yeah, I was in the call with other people who are Remix and Ty and Julio. Shout outs to them. Yeah. But yeah, we're just sitting around and they're bullshitting and all that stuff, and that message comes in and I'm like, let me just kind of talk to Rob here for a bit. So I asked him a question, he said that, and I was like, okay, yeah, I'll do it. I'll do it. It's like, I want you to be Hill. I was like, shit.
Yeah.
'Cause for
You're
now-
not really a heel, right? When it comes down to commentary.
Well, I mean, there's only one place I'm heel at, and that's NAH. Which, that's where the whole Taekwon character came up from, because I was like, I should create a character that's highly ghetto.
So Taekwon
And-
is the best you came up with, huh? Well, at least it's not the Devontae,
Yeah.
right? It's
I still rib remix about that.
I don't know where he came up with that. Like when we were feuding on his show, it was
Yeah.
I just felt like I had to make fun of it, like Devontae, just fucking do the most ghetto
Man,
accent ever.
you don't know, from that point forward, I was like, I have to meet this guy who sat here and made that name so ratchet that like now I can't say Devontae, it's Devontae.
Yeah, exactly.
Like when I cuss him out, like, look here, Devontae, you ain't paying no bills, boo boo.
I promise
You know?
you, boo boo.
We're bringing in the hands like Jack right now, boo boo. But yeah. So that the Royal Rumble happened, and he told me to be heel, and I'm like, Taekwon can't come. He can't because he's uncensored. You can't. I mean, I learned from BH that they will censor afterwards, but I made it so easy because Rom immediately said to me like, "Look, you can't cuss,"
Right.
and I was like, all right, good. This is why Taekwon couldn't come.
Right.
Because he would have said shit or motherfucker like 5 seconds into the show.
I gotta censor this now. Shit. I don't give a fuck. Fuck it. Yeah, go off.
But yeah, he told me to be heel, and I did the best heel like switch up that I could with my own character,
No, yeah.
which was fun.
Go ahead.
I say it was fun. It was fun to do it.
Yeah, it's weird, right? Because like when it comes down to doing commentary, because again, I used to do commentary in FAM also, but there was it's a weird feeling because you get to see the show before it's released, and to be honest with you, before I joined, I mean, ever since I joined, the first pay-per-view I've seen without seeing it before everybody else, like seeing it with everybody else, was this past Rumble, which you commentated on. So it was a very different experience, me seeing it as a fan now than it was me just working on it. And I already knew because back when I was working in FAM, I did the majority of the recording, I did some of the booking with Rom, a lot of the writing for promos, so I pretty much knew how the shows were going to be before they even got released. So it's just a very refreshing feeling not knowing what the hell was going on, especially with the Royal Rumble match, because I didn't work on that was all camp. So yeah, that was crazy. So like on your perspective, you've been watching it as a fan for a while, and then now you're kind of on the inside of watching it before everybody else. Was that a different experience as well, or what?
Commentary wise, very different.
Yeah.
Because up until now, I got a whole show with all the promos and all that stuff sent to me, and then I did commentary with Darren or Ty or whoever they put next to me, depending on the situation, or Yuki Zero, Chia, Kuchumiya, all that stuff. It was very different because one, I get the show in parts. In each match I got to commentate, and then on top of that, the intro and so forth, all of that, like getting the script to do an intro was weird.
Right.
So it was a new beast for me to do, but it was also very easy to kind of get into because for a while, people don't send you the right notes sometimes, and then you're getting all of these like great notes from Rom or somebody to do the Rumble with. So it's like, hallelujah, I can retire from like the sim community now and just stay with FAM.
Right, so like when it comes, and I think that's kind of my fault with the whole notes thing, because back when I was doing commentary with Rom, we did it just like off the top of the head. So he'll start off with like, "Oh, welcome to ladies and gentlemen, the whole extravaganza, the 15-hour pay-per-view," and all sorts of shit. But then when it came down to 500 hours working on it, but then when it,
Jesus
when
Christ.
it came down to my part, because he'll say it like that with no fucking problem, all in one take. But then when it comes down to my part, like, "Oh yeah, my name is Sean Nova. Fuck, it's Sean N." And we had to do it all over again. So there was a bunch of different takes, and it's not like how it was with like Dystopia, where they have like the little bloopers at the end. We would just have to just scrap this shit or give it to OTP, which he would make music out of.
Oh man, I love the bloopers at the end of a show now because
I love it. I kind of want to do it with my show, but I don't want to be copying. So
Oh no, it's pretty much everywhere at this point
Right.
because I don't want to say that me and Ty started the trend with Heatwave, but okay, we started the trend at Heatwave. You know, with the Jesus, you got it. You know, all that stuff. It just shows you a bit of how much fun that you'll have with someone if you're doing dual com, at least, that you have with someone doing commentary. You know, and we're a whole fool, so it's like, okay, so what the hell are they doing during like the commercials and the promos and all that stuff? Are they even talking? Are they silent or whatever? And then you hear the bloopers and it's like, yeah, that motherfucker over here with this move is, I don't know what he was
Very
doing.
Eddie Murphy just came out a little bit, yeah. Like, I'll make a wild.
Lemonade.
But yeah, it's a different animal. When you were talking about doing commentary with a partner, it's different because I remember doing a couple of episodes for New Age Horizons, and I did it solo, and it's so different doing commentary solo. It's weird because like you kind of have to have a conversation with yourself a little bit, where you're like, oh yeah, I'm kind of going for this person, but then again, I'm kind of going for this person too. So you got to try to stay objective and everything instead of having to work off somebody that's probably going for one person. Let's say like Ron would normally go for a face, and then I'm like, oh no, BH is the god and all this other stuff. So like you can work off with that, but when it comes down to by yourself, it's different. Do you prefer working with somebody or by yourself?
I prefer dual com, just for those reasons you mentioned. It's weird because I also do an episode of NAH alone. And this is from the point that when I started with NAH, I had a commentary partner. And then, unfortunately, things came up in personal life and they weren't able to do it anymore. So, during the transition to, let's see, I think I started with, either it was Barry or it was with Surefire, one of the two. During that transition from them to Shia, I did an episode alone. And I was sitting there like, this is very, very different. And because of the fact that I had that kind of support and that, I did play-by-play and then I had to just now do both play-by-play and color, it was like, I'm going nuts over here without someone like next to me going, yeah, you're fucking stupid.
Right. Do you feel like play-by-play is more needed when it comes down to doing commentary? Because I hear like stories that say like from like Vince McMahon where it's like, oh yeah, it's best to just tell a story instead of saying, oh, this is a suplex or this is a backbreaker or this is the camel clutch or stuff like that, because people already know what those moves are.
Yeah.
It's just best to tell the story about, oh, this person's background or why they're fighting and yada yada yada. Or what would you rather?
I think a mixture of both is important because yeah, just kind of I would like to think that I'm kind of hybrid in a way, but the commentators in the first place are already telling the story of what's going on in the ring, whether it's calling a move or whether it's saying this is the background of this individual. It's that those little points that wrestlers can't like say or do in the ring to tell a story, that's where the commentators come in. And I think I felt like I've said this before, but commentary I think is very important to a match or to a show, period. And even better when they send you notes so you have something to go off of instead of kind of sitting there and just going, oh, well, here is, wrestler X and he does stuff. Yeah. He's really cool. That sounds stupid. And people are probably going to trash you for it. And you're sitting there like, well, I don't know about the guy, so I can't really, like, tell you a good story about him.
And the sad truth about the community where it's like, I'm not pointing any fingers or naming names, but there are some people that will just go and work on the look and their moveset, but not necessarily know exactly what their call is all about.
Yeah.
Like, why does this person wear a mask? Or why does this person have face paint? Like, a lot of people don't know about, like, why I have face paint. That's because a lot of people don't say it.
Yeah.
And they'll just say, oh, what moves I do and stuff like that, instead of, oh, yeah, well, he went training around the world and spent a lot of time in Japan. That's why he got the Oni mask and all the Kabuki stuff. And
yeah.
So it's not just, oh, I'm just doing it just because it looks cool or some shit like that. And a lot of people just do shit because it looks cool and not have a story behind it. And that's the sad thing about it. Where let's say, for example, you do a diva match, you have two divas there, and then they have nothing to tell about the story, but say, oh well, I'm the baddest bitch in this community, and then that's it. And not like, oh yeah, well, you know, I'm a trained dancer, but I wanted to try wrestling for now, or say, oh, this person killed my wife, or whatever the fuck, you know, not just say on divas, but on guys as well.
Or copy a real
have
wrestler
story behind
profile
it.
or something like that.
Right, you know, and the call wiki helps a little bit, but
Yeah.
some people don't put so much thought into it. And I think that's a note for everybody where if you want to have your car go places, have a story with it. Because you look at the big guys in the car right now, you look at the Nick Virtues or the BHs or the Ron Busters or the 2TMs or so on and so forth, the Lance Friscoes, whoever, and they all have a story behind their car. It's not just like, okay, this guy looks cool and that's it.
Yeah.
Like the recent video with Rannick when he was talking about how he trained in Russia and then learned all the 7 deadly sins and all this other stuff. Really provocative storytelling, and it gives you insight on that character, and I think everybody should do that.
I'm not gonna lie. I sat there and I was like, this is a top 10 anime story right now going on with Rennick. You know, we were sitting there watching. They're like, Norm, get in this Discord chat. And by them, I mean, you know, like Ben and so forth. And we were just watching it and we're like, man, this is truly an anime story right now. We're watching with Rennick.
It's like a fighting game.
Yeah,
like
you know?
bit, yeah.
So
I got like an M. Bison type vibe. He's talking about how like the people you start off with are PH and guns and
and how they all
and
go
everything.
off to do their own thing. And
I was like, yeah, this one's Sagat, this one's Vega, this one's Balrog, and it's like,
Jermaine!
Yeah, exactly. I was like, yeah, for a second, I'm like, who the fuck is Jermaine? Because I completely forgot. Because I knew a lot about the fam history when I started. Because, again, when I was leader and everything, I wanted to make sure I knew every single fucking thing, especially doing commentary.
Yeah.
But just my memory sucks, and I was like, who the fuck is Jermaine? And they're like, oh, yeah, it's guns.
Yeah, same. Same about the memory part. This is why I tell people to send me notes most of the time. You know, there was a guy one time who sent me notes. They weren't really good notes. But in the notes, it was like, you get to a certain match and like, you know what to do. And I was like, no, I forgot. What am I supposed to do? You know, like, send me some signatures or something. So I'm not sitting here like, oh, what a great power bomb that was. And, you know, like, send something. Like, does he have a move name or something for the power bomb? Does he call something special? What's his story? You know, like that's all you really get when a match comes in. When someone says you're like really bad, like, you know, pedigree. Oh my God, he doesn't call anything. No, he didn't really give me a name for it. Okay, we're just gonna call it that.
I like when people have like a catchy name to their finishers and shit, like a bad bull driver. I like that, or the twisted reaction, or you know, shit like that. Like I do the Novocaine stunner or whatever.
I like referencing the comic books and video games in there. Like same with Alex J. Arick, you know, the Goomba stomp that he has. That's fucking great, you know. Right. So for me, I have I went back in time back to 14 when I tried to get into Sim a bit more, where I had the Black Widow and I now call it the Trapped in the Speed Force. It rolls off the tongue once you get through like commentary, and it just gets applied. It's like, oh my God, he's got him trapped in the Speed Force. It's fucking great. It's great. It's I love it. It's great.
Yeah. So like now you mentioned the Speed Force, you mentioned comic books, you mentioned time travel and everything like that. So I guess you're a Flash fan from a lot of things. Of course. Like, you Twitter handle and all that stuff.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So like
I'm the laziest Flash fan, by the way. So, and I'll tell you why I'm lazy, because I sat here one night and on my iPad, my very cracked iPad that I don't use anymore now, I downloaded all of New 52 Flash. I got through half of it before I just like sat it down and was like, Bet sounds nice. And then I never went back to it. Like right now, Flash is in Rebirth and I'm sitting here like, I'll get to it after New 52, but by the time I get to Rebirth, it's gonna be over, and then some new arc is gonna start for the Flash, and I'm gonna be sitting there like, I won't start that until I finish Rebirth.
Did you check out the Flashpoint Paradox?
Yes, that is one of my favorite movies that they've released. I love it, especially with Zoom in there.
I only seen the movie. I didn't read the comic. I used to read comics a lot back, like I would say maybe 10 years ago, and I just, for some reason, I just stopped because I used to travel all the way down to Midtown Manhattan called Midtown Comics, and it's
Oh,
a very
man.
lovely place. A lot of people go there, celebrities and stuff like that. But it's
Lucky.
Just, yeah, but since I moved, it's like it's far away. I can't deal with it. But yeah, so it's. I'll try to download a comic here and there, but I lost interest. But now I get to watch the animated movies and all that stuff, and I'm a big fan of it. Again, love Batman, and then now they have a thing where I think Batman and Flash are dealing with the whole rebirth situation, and then what's the whole thing with the Watchmen pin and all that stuff.
All right, so let me go download
Yes.
that right
And
now.
From what I've seen, like the most of the time I read comics is from like Comic Historian on YouTube, and like they'll have like a little what do you call it, like an ad lib or a Cliff Notes version of not an ad lib. What the hell I'm talking about? A Cliff Notes version of the comics where it'll give you a rundown on what you need to know on what happened in this issue, yada yada yada, and dramatically read it back and all other stuff. But it's really good. I'll link it to you.
Oh, that's yeah. Give me the link to that because my lazy ass needs that.
Do you watch the Flash TV show on CW?
Yes, and I've been falling, but I've fallen behind on a lot of things. The Flash TV show is
Right.
one because it comes on around the same time as SmackDown.
yeah.
So I'm like, I want to watch SmackDown, but I also want to watch the Flash. But I DVR it so I can like go back to it later. I watched that. I was trying to get into Arrow while it's going, but I tried like a couple episodes and I fell out of that. Same with Supergirl when they went from being on CBS to CW.
Right.
So I was like, oh, this is perfect. Now all superhero shows on CW, except for Gotham.
And let's not talk about Gotham.
And that's another show I wasn't able to get. Yeah, that's the other one I wasn't able to get into.
Gotham is
Gotham,
good.
but,
It's just sometimes like now this season especially. They take a lot of liberties with the origins of some people, and it's like, come on, man. Like, there's a reason why it's already there. There's a reason why you're making a story out of it, because it's fucking popular and it's good. So fucking copy it, not directly. You make a little minor changes here and there, but don't say
yeah, make a little minor change like they did with Watchmen for the movie.
Exactly. Don't go and fucking say, oh yeah, well the Riddler is like fucking damn near 40 years old when Bruce is only 10. Like, what the fuck? How does that even work? It makes zero sense.
Yeah, and then get the kid from Shameless
Yeah,
in there.
right. Yeah, but fucking Supergirl is good. I like it. I've seen a little bit of the season. When it comes down to all the shows like Flash, Arrow, stuff like that, I've only caught like the first half of the current season because of SmackDown and all
Yeah, and then
those.
you have to go back and
Now
watch
I'm waiting
it.
for it to be on Netflix so I can just binge it. So even though I have a DVR, it's just like I don't know where to start. But so like Netflix, I'll just binge watch it whenever it gets there. Supergirl is good. I think it just gets a little too preachy with the feminism and stuff like that. Where like I get the message out.
Oh, but I know people
Right,
like
but
that.
then there's a thing where it's like I know this already. I grew up watching Xena Warrior Princess. I love Kill Bill. Buffy the Vampire Slayer is the shit. I know strong females exist, and there's plenty of them. You don't need to tell me. It's like telling me, hey, 2 + 2 is 4. I know 2 + 2 is 4 though.
Speaking of strong females,
What's
speaking of that, Final Fantasy 15
Ah.
had to change some things in their story because the feminist community came out and was like, we don't like the fact that she was probably tortured when she was kidnapped. And I'm like, you understand they're evil,
Yeah.
right? And that's what they do to people. Like
They're not
they
glorifying
make
it, yeah.
like there was a well, they're not. The thing is, yeah, they didn't glorify it in the game. You didn't really see her get tortured in the game. You just kind of saw her just trapped between all these guards and so forth. Spoilers if you haven't played it yet.
I have no intention. I guess whoever does, it's whatever.
But yeah, but for whoever likes, the Final Fantasy series, but it's like, it wasn't anything to the point where it's like, oh, she seemed very helpless, because there's a point in the game where it's out there in the fight itself, like, get away from me, you bitches, like, I'm beautiful.
Right. It's like Batgirl with the Killing Joke, where they're trying to retcon that now, where like, oh yeah, Joker didn't shoot her and then strip her and take all those pictures and everything like that. I think even though it's a fucked up thing to happen and we don't want to see that to happen to any female in real life, I think that it happens on TV shows or comic books or movies or whatever, just so people that have gone through that have something to relate to, and it's inspiration because you see these people on TV shows and any other medium go through that and rise above it. So it's one of those things where like it's inspirational. If you're going through that and you see that happen on TV, maybe it can happen to you. Maybe you can rise above it. So for somebody to say, "Oh, I don't like seeing that," yada yada yada, well, it's not for you. It's for somebody else that's going through it that can empathize and understand.
Yeah, and I was gonna say also those same people will probably watch like a Hallmark or Lifetime movie or like ID and see the same thing happen and go, that's how you get out of that.
It's like last year with the whole bullshit with the X-Men Apocalypse poster. Apocalypse is choking Mystique, and I'm like, yeah, but Apocalypse is a bad guy. Yes, of course he's gonna choke her. Is he gonna be like, no, I should not hit women?
He's gonna choke everybody.
And I think the fact that he's choking a female makes it more striking because he don't give a fuck. You know, so like.
Yeah, it's like it doesn't matter what gender you are. You could have been Wolverine for all that, and just come here, bitch.
I don't see anybody with a normal mind going in and be like, okay, I'm never gonna hit a female, and they go see a movie poster with fucking Apocalypse choking Mystique. He's like, you know what? Great fucking idea, honey. Come here, I'm gonna fuck you up. And like, it never happened. At least to my mind, as a rational thinking human being, never happened because I've grown up with shit like that, with domestic disputes and all that stuff, and violence and all that stuff. And and I know it's not right. I never hit a female. I never will. Even if it gets down to the point where fucking she's about to chop my balls off, I'm like, fuck it.
Okay, now that's too far.
That's probably the most I can do. So, if anything, I'll call my older sister to go fuck up. She's a cop, so beat the fucking shit out of her, and that's it. But you know, other than that, that's pretty much it. I'm not gonna go and lay hands on female because that's just my thing. Not something that someone on TV said that it's a bad thing. It's me as a human being knowing it's a bad fucking thing. And when it comes down to feminism, I understand equal pay, equal rights, all that jazz. Fucking absolutely.
I'm for that. Yeah, we're for that part.
It's a female,
but
it's anybody. Fucking when it comes down to minorities or whatever, everybody should have equal pay, no matter fucking what.
Right.
But don't keep telling me what I already know. And if a person doesn't know that today, they're not gonna know it by watching it on fucking TV. They're not gonna go and see something on Arrow where it's like, oh, you know, hit me like a man, and it turns out to be a female. Like, nah, I'm gonna hit you like a woman. And like, you know what? Women are strong. Even though I'm 45 years old, I did not know that until right fucking now. No way.
Until this movement came along.
You know what I'm saying? Like, oh yeah, you know, I've seen stuff like fucking Aliens and, you know, fucking Terminator 2 where Sarah Connor was jacked as shit, fucking everything up. No, I'm gonna ignore that. But this here, right now, this Wonder Woman movie is gonna change my mind. It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, pretty much.
Weird. But, you know, the more power to them. I understand it. Baby steps, and everybody needs to, where it becomes normal and shit like that. I get it, but sometimes it's like beating a dead horse a little bit. People that don't get it now are probably never gonna get it, and God help their fucking souls because they're fucking dumb. But you know, people that still hate women and shit like that, fuck them. Damn them. There's nothing that's gonna change them. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, I think we got off a little bit off course when it comes down to car and shit.
Oh yeah. Let's get back on course. So, we got intense there for a second.
Now let's talk about the cater crew. Because, scary subject, I know, because, you know, you guys are bad motherfuckers.
Not that scary.
You know, they're going to fuck up OTP for the whole custodian crew bullshit.
Yeah, we're going to fuck him up.
Like,
you hear me? Hold on. You know what, OTP? I got your message, okay? And you know what? I will face you one-on-one in a match. Nick Tagaloa style. On the show.
He probably doesn't watch this show anyway, so I can't really say.
Let me stop. I get that message. I got that tweet. I woke up the next day and I got that tweet from him, and I fucking laughed my balls off, man. Because he got to the part, he's like, Nick, Tagaloa style. No edits.
No edits, exactly. I was in a call.
He saw the Bronson match.
With him and I think Striggs, and we were just joking. I forgot how it came out, and I was like, yeah, you know, we should make a logo that says custodian crew on it and have like mops and shit like that. He's like, make it. I made it, and I sent it to him, and then he like just took off with it, and everybody, like, you see people making attires and shit, like janitor clothes. Oh my god. Name tag and all that stuff. Yeah. And it's fucking hilarious, and like this shit is like
I've died a few times watching those videos, man.
Sometimes when it comes down to it, but yeah, it's too funny. And then I used to like the OTP X Ben thing where they like swing each other bullshit.
It's a fucking A+ content right there,
course,
by the way.
Of course. So, you know, what would you want? Do you want your room cleaned, or do you want to fucking eat? So it's just.
Can I have both?
Yeah. If you do it yourself,
you know, have pretty much. But yeah, with the cater crew, oh man, I know that started way before I even got in there, but because I'm in FAM, my inclusion in there was pretty much solidified, I guess, sooner or later. But also, we all get along pretty well, and are major shit posters, most of us. So that's how that came about, or how the rules kind of changed. Man, we just, I think we're probably the only, I guess you could call it a clique at this point, that we just kind of sit around and laugh at every bad thing that could possibly happen on the time, in terms of CAW, that is. Like, if you're going through some personal stuff, we're not going to laugh at that, I don't think.
Unless your last name is Tagaloa.
But yeah, unless your last name is Tagaloa, but
which, again, Nick Birchie's
which was totally our fault.
But listen, it's all in good fun.
Yeah.
Right? Don't fucking get booty hurt about it.
If he does, let that ego bubble pop a little bit. Yeah, pop a little bit. Let a little bit of air out of that. Inflate a little bit. But yeah, it's all in good fun. But we find it absolutely hilarious that the Bachelor thing happened. Or that yeah, I heard that
I'm gonna say no comment on that right now. I'm just gonna be quiet.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we thought it was hilarious because it's like,
to be honest, right? I'm just gonna say one thing and then I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm a little bit jealous because I wish I had that confidence to think that, oh yeah, so many people want to fucking be my girlfriend and shit. That I'm gonna fucking hold up a competition and shit. And I'm pretty sure he got a lot of offers and he just chose the right one and shit. It's fine, but.
Oh no, he got a lot of joke offers. Like, if you look at the tweet, he got a lot of joke. I will say he got a lot of joke offers because I saw the thread of people who were submitting stuff, and I saw like the new submitting himself with a wig on, and I saw Striggs and everyone. I was like, oh my god, this is out of control. But as I'm saying it's out of control, I'm sitting there and I'm laughing my ass off because I'm like, did Nick not expect? Like, no one is safe. Like, not even myself. I'm not safe from having some type of meme made about me. But I really don't care if a meme is made about me because, Rom is bald, all that stuff. So no one is safe. And with the catering crew, no one is absolutely safe from being mean. So, you do something on the timeline. Yeah. So just put it like this. If you are gonna just go about regular business, or what you feel is regular business, but in our eyes might be a bit wonky, expect a meme. I think that we have kind of set the tone of, okay, something hilarious is happening on the timeline.
Oh, yeah.
We're memeing it.
Like when it comes down to, like, this is my philosophy when it comes down to car and anything that deals with the internet, right? Whatever you put out there, expect somebody to have a comment on it, no matter if it's good or bad or whatever. So, like, what happened to Rumble when fucking Darren's ass fucking beat my ass and shit, and then you see like someone like Champ where he'll go and fucking would post a meme and like, oh, touch Sean Nova, then it's like me looking like Yamcha getting all fucked up and shit. Like, it's funny, and you kind of have to have that comment. So if you feel a little personal about it, then the community is not for you. Just plain simple.
Right, same way with, and I might start a firestorm here, I'm sorry. Same with when anyone comments on any type of match, whether it's a diva match, whether it's a regular sim match, or whatever. Like, we saw Dystopia. I saw a match
Is it Dystopia
Dystopia where people... I talked to Darren about that. That was the first day. I was like, Darren, why did you call it Dystopia? It's Dystopia. Why you call it that? And he was like, I don't know why I did it, man. But we saw the match at Dystopia, or in Darren's case, Dystopia. And, it was Tesla versus Vixen. Now, apparently, I think Vixen was in the chat when her match was going on, and saw all of the comments after the powerbomb on the steel steps happened, where people just totally flipped. They were like, why is this match still going, And then there was like another spot in the match that actually ended it. That was like, I think it was like a catch into like a fisherman into the corner, something like that. But that got overshadowed by the fact that people felt like the match should have ended at the stair spot. Because it's like, it was kind of late into the match when it happened. Then, to go the extra mile to try to prove your point that, you know, this is a good match or whatever, just completely get nullified. So she saw this, and I guess she put on Twitter that she would no longer be doing PS4 shows or PS4 events, something like that. I think that's an example of when you take certain criticisms. I mean, the way they were savage as hell.
Well, that's the internet, yeah.
So was I.
Again,
but
we don't have the technology where someone can get punched through the internet. So yeah, they're gonna be either as honest or as savage as can be.
You just wait. Yeah, you just wait. Someone's going to create that technology where you teleport your fist through the screen,
a lot of
just
people,
by punching at it.
You know, like I don't want to mention him or whatever, but there are some people out there that just don't know when to fucking stop. So yeah, trust me, I'm going to develop that shit one day. Give me a good 15 years. Mark my words.
But yeah, I think it comes down, like, I always ask for. I'm actually not embarrassed, but what's the word for it? I'm kind of jealous, actually, when it comes to when I see people get feedback on their match and then my match doesn't. Because I want to know if I'm doing anything wrong or if I'm doing something right, or if I'm doing something wrong. Because if I'm doing something wrong, then, okay, look, that guy critiqued the match and said that Norm was doing a horrible job doing this and this offense or this and this defense or doing this selling or whatever. And I want to be able to hear that and go, okay, well, I know what to fix for, you know, the next match that is put out for a show or for an event, you know? So I get kind of jealous when I see someone like, you know, someone get a lot of praise or someone get a lot of criticism that, you know, doesn't normally go someone else's way, you know?
Yeah, well,
and
I've been there
I'll leave
too.
that at that.
There are some times where I get discouraged, and then like I'll see somebody come up with a show, and then like a lot of people like it, and then I'm like, damn, am I doing the right thing with ME? Am I doing something where like if I'm wrong? That's why a lot of the times, you know, of course, waiting on people to finish their matches is one thing, but then on the other hand, it's like me like being discouraged.
Yeah.
Should I fucking edit it now? I don't know, man. I'm not really feeling it because of the morale. And then I've been there before too, where I'll go and work my ass off on a project, and then, or like let's say like my car, right? My attire. I've been working so hard on it. I've been working on it for like about a week, making the images, yada yada yada, all this other stuff. And then you'll see somebody that goes and makes a generic ass fucking car with no paint tools and shit. This is back in the day when we had paint tools, but they have no paint tools, and like, and it's like really implausible to even have this fucking person in the fucking ring. You look like a person that should be ruling the fucking world or summoning demons or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
But you decide to become a fucking wrestler. It makes no fucking sense. But people are like, oh my god, I love your car. Like, he spent like maybe 15 minutes on it. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, he spent like 5 minutes to create the whole thing and then just put it out there for you to see. That's it.
That type of shit bothers me because there's a lot of people that are blind. They have blind loyalty where like no matter what, whether it's bad or good, they're gonna be like, "Oh my god, give me your dick, mwah," and that's it. And it's just like, come on, man, be fucking truthful. Like when it comes down to my projects, whatever I work on, whether it's FAM, ME, or anything else, tell me the motherfucking truth. Don't just say it because you think I'm gonna get you in fam if you tell me all the right things or some bullshit. Trust me, barking up the wrong fucking tree. But
right.
When just tell me the fucking truth. If I fuck up, I fuck up. If I fucking, it's just like the first ME show we did, and they didn't like the whole scrolling on the bottom where you're like, oh, follow this person on Twitter, or this person versus this person's next, or whatever. And they didn't like it, so I'm like, all right, gotcha. And I changed it because I aim to please. Do that shit. Don't fucking just say everything is great when it's not.
Yeah, which I totally agree with. I've been this way since, you know, I started doing a league, offline league, that is. And you know, that's all you really want to hear as a league owner, period, is if your product is doing well, and if it's doing well or if it's doing bad. Because if it's doing bad, then, you know, of course they'll let you know. Hopefully they'll let you know if it's doing bad, so you can change it and make the necessary adjustments and go on with that and see if people like that. You know, but that's not always the case with a lot of people, because, you know, we all are trying to spare feelings and all that stuff. So it's like, oh, I don't want to hurt this guy's feelings, but, you know, his product is shit, and you'll say that in some private conversation, and the league owner will never hear it.
Well, then there's also the ways you got to go about it, because I think someone saying, "Oh, your product is shit," is gonna not like, "Oh, I don't like."
Well, that was just for example. I don't want them to actually come up and be like, "Your product is shit."
Some
You know,
people
just
do that,
actually
though.
give
Some
something.
people do that.
Well, that's true. But I want them to actually come up and just give me like point by point. Okay, this should be changed. This should be changed. I didn't like how this came across, and you know,
Emphasis
not
on
like
constructive when it comes down to criticism. Yeah.
yes, you know, not, constructive is not going up and going like, "This sucks." Leaves.
Yeah, and there are some people where it's like, okay, if I'm gonna get criticized on something, I'd rather it be by people that have done what I've done, like my peers, people that know exactly what it goes through
Right.
to make a show or to make a car or so on and so forth. Not someone that hasn't done a goddamn thing in the community and just like goes, oh well, I don't like this person because he wears a mask. He should not wear a mask. Or I don't like this person because he has fucking CM Punk kick pads on or some shit like that, right? And I'm like, okay, well, where's your car? Well, I don't really have. Well, shut the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck? You haven't done a show. You haven't even made a fucking car. Do you even have the game? Why the fuck are you critiquing shit?
Reminds me of somebody.
Anyway, I'm not gonna fucking give him the
No,
satisfaction of saying his
no,
name. But, you know,
no. But it reminds me of somebody.
right? And and I'm not saying, oh yeah, you know, fucking. Even though I'm an American, you should not have a freedom of speech or any of that bullshit. It's just like, know what the fuck you're talking about before you talk. It's plain and simple.
There's a line between, you know, free speech and then being a complete asshole.
Right. They're saying, oh man, fucking, I wanted to see a spot where, you know, in the middle of the match when he fucking does a powerbomb, I want fucking Godzilla to come in and fucking stomp him and shit. I'm like, yeah, well, how you gonna get Godzilla in the fucking game? You don't even know. You don't even fucking know. If you can't do
Pretty
it,
much.
don't fucking expect other people to do it. It's just plain and fucking simple. Like,
This ain't kaiju.
Yeah, right, exactly. This ain't fucking Pacific Rim and shit. Fuck. I'm not, hey, I may dress like a Power Ranger and fucking an FAM Royal Rumble, but I'm not necessarily a Power Ranger unless I am. But,
Which, by the way, one of the best attires I saw at the Rumble.
you know what's funny? When I made it, I was really high on it, but then when I saw it on the show, I was like, I could have done better.
See, that's me now. With there's a pinstripe attire I have not. That looks great in creation mode, but when you go into an actual match, the pinstripes fuck up.
It looks all blurry.
And it looks all blurry, and I'm like, well, there goes that attire.
Yeah, there's a bunch of other attires that I've worked on. I did like the Hydra attire and the Batman attire and stuff like that, which hopefully I get to use those soon. I don't know how many shows I'm going to be in with this community, but hopefully I can use all of them. But
Hey, be a Phoenix. Sign up to every one of them.
right, just
Love you, Price. Mm-hmm. As if he's gonna watch this or listen to this.
fingers crossed. You never know. But yeah, just hopefully, like I have a lot of ideas when it comes down to storylines and all this stuff. This is why I made the show, and you know, hopefully you can get them, you know, done and shit like that. But sometimes it's hard work, man. Sometimes you gotta wait on other people, and I'm more of an independent person. Or I hate relying on other people, which is a bad fucking person to be when you're running a.
This is why doing an offline show is the best.
Well,
Because I did everything. I did everything on my own, editing, matches, all that stuff.
You're a
It
strong,
was great.
independent black woman.
Who don't need no man. Okay.
Yas, queen, yas.
Yeah, yas. Slay.
Oh man. So, of course, you've been in other car shows. You know, like, okay, we were mentioning like the whole WTW and Russell Orchestra, the LOW, all the other stuff. Yeah, again, you're spreading yourself kind of thin there. How do you do it all?
So, okay. Training, man. No, a lot of sleep. A lot of sleep. You know, it's weird because when Denise came to me for Wrestle Orchestra,
Denise.
I love that guy. My tag team partner and future now. He came to me. He's like, Norm, I want you to be in this league, not as a commentator, because at that point that he asked me to be in there, you know, everyone was always like asking me, Norm, can you do commentary for this, or can you do commentary? Oh, we love your voice. It's so sexy. All that stuff. I've been told that before. I'm not gonna say who, but I've been told.
Yeah, I know. I know what you're talking about.
It's weird. It's so weird. It's so weird to be told that. But anyways,
Right.
So he wanted me in there as a wrestler, to kind of give me a chance to just like get my feet wet. Not really feet wet, but just like kind of show off a bit. And I was like, yeah, I'll do it. Same with WTW. Peyton came to me and was like, I want to showcase that you can actually like do shit outside of talking over people's matches, and got signed into WTW. So, I just do it, man. I don't have any regimen or anything like that. When I'm asked to commentate something like New Age Horizons or BDG or FAM at this point now, I just do it. Oh well, actually now UAW, since
Right.
I've taken that on as well. I just do it, just plan it out very well and do it.
Just very careful scheduling and all that other stuff.
Yeah.
Oh man, you're
Which I'm guessing that most people have, but I barely do shit, so it's like, hey, I have time for it.
Well, yeah, on paper it seems like you have a lot to do, but then again, commentary takes like what, maybe 2 hours out of your day, depending on the event.
Depending on like how many, like at one point, because I do BCW as well. I almost left that out.
Oh my gosh, all the letters in the alphabet.
Yeah. So, Alex Jarrett, who helps Austin Cruz run BCW, sent me that. Along with that, NAH episode was sent to me, and along with that, I think like one more episode or a match or something was sent to me. So I had like 3 major like big like hour-long shows to commentate, and I was like, all right, so this day I'll do this day I'll do this, and this day I'll do that. But there's moments like that where you get like a ton of stuff sent into you as a commentator, or I should say as a popular commentator, because I guess at this point I am popular. I heard that cat call. But it at that point, that's where it kind of gets straining. But for me, I'm stubborn, so I just kind of push through it, do it, and then get it over with, so I can at least relax a little bit.
All right, yeah, because like a lot of fucking shows, but let's see here. As a matter of fact, right now we're gonna get into the fan questions here.
Woo!
Yeah, where the listeners would submit questions here. Just check my Twitter whenever you guys get the chance. I usually around the day before recording, usually on the weekends, I will go and say, hey, I'm interviewing this person here. If you have any questions, submit it. Just look out for the tweet. Just look out for the fucking tweet. And yeah, pretty much. Anyways, we're gonna go a high pitch now. So, and now the people that sent in questions. Now this one's from Fallen Blake Cyrus, or I like to call Blake Sarase, and he sends, what inspired the CTAT?
The Catch This Ass tour. So I put out a list of guys I wanted to face on 17 because I wanted to get more active in the ring. And the idea pretty much spawned from that because a lot of the guys who I faced on that tour, most recently Darren Dashley, and again, I have to thank Eric for that because that's a storyline that started in Kapow and led to this point. Yeah, and unfortunately Kapow isn't around right now, but Darren is keeping the Catchweight Championship active. So bless his soul for doing that.
That's cool.
But yeah, and it was inspired from just having a list of people I wanted to face that I've never faced before, and going, kind of making it like a world tour somewhat, and somewhat similar to what Joey was doing, where he was like doing Joey versus the world and so forth. So that also kind of got me, lit a fire there to do these 12 matches.
Okay. Now,
And I'm not letting you know what the 12th one is until I get the graphic done.
So a little teaser there, huh? Any
Yeah, little
clues,
teaser.
Any hints that you wanna?
He might need a miracle.
I have no idea what the fuck you're talking about. But all right, so now
Someone might get it.
This one's kind of like a joke question here, I guess. But this one's from Ryan Racers Gale, from of course DVR or Bill Baker, and
With that hot and crispy commentary. Nigga, your commentary ain't chicken. It's me and Ty tell him that all the time. All right.
so yeah, when did you crack the case of the missing slice of pineapple pizza?
When I saw the prostitute in the corner eating it. No, not her. No.
I'm just saying. I read the reply.
Barring that
I
reply.
didn't say shit. Listen, you're probably not.
Barring
watching
that
this podcast
reply.
right now, but if you are, by the miracle of God, I did not say shit.
He totally did.
I didn't. Oh, without my fucking life.
I'm joking, of course. No.
Instead of a fucking podcast.
All right. Oh wait, I'm not even healed yet from Darren Dastardly. How dare you
All right.
challenge me to a
What
match?
happened with that? Because
No.
I heard shit, but of course, me and my forgetfulness, I didn't see anything. I apologize, but tell me what happened with that.
Okay, so there's only 2 people in the history of me being in the ring now who have targeted my derriere. One is Mexi on the Catch His Ass tour.
Okay.
And, you know, he did a little bit. And then Darren did it. He told... Now, by the way, both of these guys came to me before these matches and was like, Norm, I'm going to target your ass. I'm like, okay. I mean, that's my most prized possession, of course. You know, it's the most powerful thing in my body, apparently.
That's something they're proud of.
So, you know, yeah, you know, I'm proud of my very large rump. You know, my lovely manly hump there in the back.
Your lovely manly lump.
Yeah, check it out. But yeah, Darren said he was going to target it, but the way he did it was so brutal that it made what Mexi did look like, you know, like Mexi set the blueprint, but Darren went in for the kill. It's like, no, you want to use your ass from here on out? Fuck you.
Get into detail
You know,
of
so-
what actually happened, though. Paint a picture for me.
So a lot of, let's say, in terms of my ass, a lot of atomic drops, a lot of moves that, you know, would normally target like your tailbone and your ass, pretty much. So that ended up being, and also apparently I nullified all of my finishers,
Yeah, it's not like you can do a
including the
stunner or
Oscar
some
hip
shit like
attack,
that.
and
Or a
yeah,
pile driver fucking...
yeah. Now watch me bring back the Rough Rider, which has been hidden in my moveset for a while now.
Oh, man. So yeah, I guess you had to lay on your stomach that night and all that stuff.
What's funny is because the match came out before spring cleaning, and I mean like the day before spring cleaning, it was very awkward to see like me come out and I'm still like, yeah, ass style, yeah, and then throwing it at Bronson in the most organic match you're gonna see,
That is just...
Nick Tagaloa style,
Please don't kill me.
no edits.
Oh, God. But, alright. Alright, now...
I love
this is a
OTP
nice
for that
little segue,
now.
But this is a question from Mr. Championa.
Oh boy,
Where, how big is your ass in inches?
40 inches.
I have no idea.
You know, I had to go look that up because I never actually measured my own ass.
Yeah, who does? Unless you're...
I just
like, a
know it's
model or
big.
something like that, probably, but...
You know, yeah. I'm just gonna say 40 inches. There you go.
Alright. So, yeah, dumps like a chuck. I was like, what? Good, you got it, because some people don't get it. It's too young.
Man, I told you I'm like
I
ancient.
know, we're old people, man. I don't know how we're not dead yet. It's fucking crazy.
I need my tapioca and applesauce and apple juice
yeah,
and all that
take my
shit.
teeth out first and shit, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Pot it then.
My colostomy bag.
Anyway, alright, so now this is from Sensei Ro at the Dynamite Kid, or Tinamite Kid, like I always say. Alright, what is the best part of being a commentator? This is one of many questions.
Best part of being a commentator, getting to see the matches before anyone else.
Yeah,
One.
true.
And being able to call some pretty good matches, able to lend your voice to something that might turn out to be one of the best matches of all time.
What's your favorite match? to
So
call?
I mean,
Yeah, putting you on the spot.
why you
I'm
do
putting you on the spot.
this?
If you want to name a top
Why you do
3 or
this?
something like that, just to cover your bases.
No, I'll my favorite match so far, and it wasn't even a serious match. So actually, I'll split it up. So my favorite comedy match was the Pokemon battle,
Yes, I saw that one.
where I absolutely died. You know, like, here's the thing: Joey doesn't tell me when he's gonna do ridiculous shit
Good
like
natural
this.
reaction, yeah.
Yeah, to get natural reaction. And I talked to him before he gave me like Heat Wave that day, and I was like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "You'll find out when you commentate." I was like, "I hate you. It is better that be some bullshit." But it was that and this. I sounded like I was on crack at one point. I died during that. It was great. But serious match. Man, there are so many now. I will say, and this is going to seem like because, you know, I know Darren, that I'm like stroking his balls and like fucking sucking the shaft there. I would have to say his match with Sean O'Reilly was probably my favorite, and also because Ty was there, so I enjoyed that thoroughly because of that. But there's a lot more that I've enjoyed on there. I mean, I've enjoyed a lot of Darren Dashley matches. I've enjoyed a lot of women's matches, especially Katia matches that I've commentated. Which, by the way, I would like to say I feel like I am responsible for getting her name out there a little bit.
So pay your dues, Katia.
So I'm cool with Katia. When she sent me that match, I was like, yeah, I'll commentate it. And then I watched it and commentated, and I was like, you know what? This is good as shit. I like this. I like this a lot. Bottom cheek. Now we're hashtag twerk team, because I have a big ass. She has a big ass. We gonna twerk all over everybody. Oh yeah.
Now this is another one from Dynamite Kid.
Yeah.
How big is Batista's dick?
Ask Melina.
Oh shit. Yeah, I know we saw Guardians today too, so it was like fucking.
Oh boy, that question just came at a perfect time, right?
Alright, so again from Ty, how's fam treating you?
Pretty good so far. I haven't been like thrown over the railroad track and like a train run over me yet. So
shout out to
it's
Kingdom.
been yeah.
Damn, I mentioned his name. Fuck. Oh, well.
Here's the thing with FAM, and I say that it's the easiest job because of the scheduling for FAM. Of course, now they're going to try to add a little bit more stuff to the schedule, but with all the streaming and the bits and all that stuff. But FAM is like the easiest. I want to call it like the TNA of scheduling.
Ooh,
because
retract
that but I still consider them like the WWE of CAW at this point. But their scheduling, and I say this as a part of like, people went to TNA because they wanted easier schedules. So if you want somewhat of an easier schedule, you try to get into FAM, because there's such a gap between events that you'll have enough time to kind of rest, and the work in between isn't that major unless you're doing one of the matches for the next event or something like that. So it's like I can do this for a good while until like I turn like probably 35 and go I'm gone or something.
I'm starting to get to that point where I'm just.
Oh no! By the time I hit 30, I'm pretty much done in a ring.
You don't want to do this car thing at 30. Your limbs start falling off because you're so old and shit. You gotta get an AARP card and shit. You might have a heart attack in the middle of the ring like Jerry Lawler.
Like the new generation of guys that are gonna join this community are gonna be like 12, and I'm gonna be sitting here like, back in my day, Maxwell Verdi used to get up after a stunner.
Yeah, there are times where I'm like, some kid comes to me like, hey, Mr. Nova, and I'm like, I haven't heard that name in 12 years. I flick my cigarette and tell him.
I already talked to Peyton. Like, me and Peyton both have each other's like in real life phone numbers that I can text him at any point and so forth, and not talk about fucking CAW. But it's like, he said once he leaves the computer, I was like, can you imagine us at like, me at probably like 45, you probably like somewhere in your 30s, because there's like a good age difference there between me and him. Just kind of looking back on, hey, remember when I used to throw ass at everybody?
Oh, God. You just have
like stuff like that.
Stories like that.
Just wild ass stories from back then.
Run in and gave me a clothesline. That fucking Jeffrey.
And he took off the suit and it was Joey Turner or something.
Right?
What a twist!
This is the last question from Dynamite Kid, which is all you feminists out there, please just mute this broadcast a little bit. But which
boy,
WWE female do you want to have news leaked next? I am not proud of this question at all.
Do I have to answer that? I mean, of course.
Like I had to ask it
in a fantasy world.
Me and I'm doing that person a service.
Okay.
Ladies, if you don't do this question, go at Dynamite Kid.
Okay, I'll answer this. I'll answer this in a fantasy world, in a realistic way here. In a realistic way, I really don't care. You know, they get leaked. I don't actually. I'm not one of those guys who just actually go after the leak itself. I mean, if yeah,
Or
like
even
I
worse,
don't
you
I don't
don't
want to
tweet it
tweet it out because that's their personal shit and all that. But if I see it, in a fantasy world, man, I would love to see Alexa Bliss, but yeah, Alexa Bliss. Yeah.
Well, that's my future ex-wife, so I wanna
I think that's a lot of people's future ex-wife at this point. Thank you, Nia Jax.
That woman could ruin my life, and I would think.
Thank you, Nia Jax, for posting your all those snaps. Damn, Alexa.
You know, I have a Snapchat and I barely fucking use it. Like, I have the app Instagram, but I don't have an account. Like, there's a lot of shit I'm just wasting.
Yeah.
But yeah, Alexa Bliss, yeah, she's fine as shit.
Oh my
but,
God.
it's her attitude that really gets me. I don't know. I'm just attracted to like really strong, borderline bitchy women, and it's, I don't know. It may seem like a character flaw, but I think I like that where like someone will call me on my bullshit. I fucking love it.
I think I might like it
Down to
too.
earth, you know what I'm saying?
I think I might like
Bring
it
me
too.
down to earth.
I did say on commentary
Don't-
once I like aggressive women, so
Don't give me, you know, don't let me have a Tagaloa-ish, like, you know, confidence and shit, you know. And don't let me think too highly of myself. Not egotistical, because, you know, be fair, he's a very fucking talented person, but
yeah,
don't let me go overboard a little bit.
right,
That's all.
right.
That's simple. But yeah. Now let me ask you a personal question. No, not a personal question.
Ooh,
but,
personal.
Your
No.
personal opinion on things. That's what I'm trying to say.
Uh-huh.
Now, who would you say? All right, now, a lot of people say this in the threads and all this other shit. But who do you feel, like, legitimately, in every sense of the word, male or female, or both, or whoever you want to do, like one for each, who do you feel is most underrated in this community?
Me? No, I'm kidding. Underrated.
Oh, yeah, you know, shout out to Joey Turner, because he's
Yeah.
the most underrated god.
Well, you know, his finisher is underrated because everyone seems to
Right.
kick out of it.
Same here with the stuff.
Yeah, now the ass move's gonna. Actually, no. People were kicking out of that even before the fucking Darren match, and
They can't kick out of it now. It's probably bigger with all that abuse.
well, no, they're gonna kick out of it anyways, because I guess the way I have it set up is that I have it as a signature, and they wait till the actual finisher to hit, the end game finisher to hit, for them to go, oh, I guess I shouldn't kick out of this. But I'm like, that's one of my like 15,000 finishers. Fuck you. But no, underrated. I don't know if I'm gonna upset some
could say-
people.
You can break it down to like looks or like you said, finishing moves or whatever.
I will, you know, just overall, I would probably say, I want to probably say DBR a little bit, but he's getting
Yeah.
booked a lot now, so it will seem kind of weird to say him.
I put him over in a match. So
Yeah.
yeah, I recognize his shit. Mhm.
You know, for the little time that Austin Cruz was around, because he's gone off to, you know, kind of become an actual wrestler.
Good for him.
I would say probably Austin Cruz at this point. I just wish he would probably do a little bit more stuff, but I understand that like he's like trying to get into like the whole Progress Dojo deal and all that stuff. So it's like that's big ups to him.
Nice.
For females, I can't really name one that's really underrated because it seems like every time I see a female match, they always get praise. So I can't really name an underrated one.
So shout out to all the females in this community.
Yeah.
You guys are great. You're wonderful little
Y'all
sisters
do
as well.
great stuff, and then you have a few bad apples.
Yes, queen. Slay queen. Yes.
You know.
All right, now here's the real juicy question. Who's overrated?
Darren
Yeah, I'm
Dastardly.
gonna go there.
No,
Ooh.
actually no. In a way, Darren can be overrated. Because there are a few matches.
Not trying to start.
drama. I'm gonna explain. Because I love Darren to death. But I hope he can kind of see it in my way as well. But there are certain matches that have been praised so much where I've kind of sat there and go, it was all right, you know. It wasn't like a 5-star match like some people claim it to be, but yeah, with that's the only reason I would say probably Darren. There's not too many people I can say are overrated because everyone I watch has performed on game and have tried to tell a story in their best way possible, you know?
Okay.
But yeah, probably Darren. I would probably pick him out the pack, probably. And hopefully he doesn't hate me. I mean, he did ruin my ass. So, God damn it. It's flat now. It's flat. Somewhat.
Don't worry,
Gotta
it'll
do,
swell back up. It'll bounce back.
gotta do the squats now.
Oh, man. Yeah, I don't want to be in your position when it comes down to that.
No. All the donuts,
I need
man.
my ass so I can do the stunner and shit like that.
yeah.
I need my butt. You know?
Females. I don't want to touch that.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna touch that.
No one's dying on my watch. Fuck that. So
I don't need the Fire Nation coming after me.
Right, exactly. But that's pretty much it for this podcast. Is there anything you want to do? Shout out or plug anything or any upcoming shows or anything that's gonna come out by the time this airs, hopefully soon.
I mean, watch everything I'm on, of course.
Right.
No,
just Google Norman Rhodes, and then you should find whatever you need.
Yeah, follow me on Twitter at SpeedForceNormal. Or if you like watching me do personal stuff, you can follow my personal one. A lot of people get that confused, by the way. They tag my personal Twitter instead of my my CAW one when they talk about CAW stuff. But yeah, the personal one I use mostly for the streaming stuff. So I do stream every like Thursday, Friday, and Saturday at 8. It's been fucked up this week because of CAW week, and I've been watching everything. But that's gonna be on now what's called Mixer and Twitch. So Max talked me into doing Twitch streaming now. So damn you! No, I'm kidding. It's all right.
Damn you!
It's pretty cool.
I need it now.
Yeah, it's pretty cool to go back on Twitch a bit. But yeah, watch Catch His Ass Tour if you need to catch up before I release the next match by this time, I think. Yeah, do that. That's it.
All right. Well, that's it for the Sean Nova 525 live podcast. I am Sean Nova, of course. This is Norman Rhodes. And, bye. Get the fuck out.
Bitches.
And that's it.